Welcome to today's tele-lesson program of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. This lesson is for the BSc Drug Science students of the second year course. As you know, drug sciences has two subjects, drug chemistry and drug technology. So this is included in drug technology course 1, unit operations. Today's topic is distillation and equipment used for distillation in pharmaceutical industry. As the students must have already read in the book Unit Operations, distillation is an important operation in the pharmaceutical industry for separation of mixtures and purification of mixtures. For today's lesson, we have with us Professor K.V. Shastri, Principal S.N. Vanitha College of Pharmacy, Hyderabad, a senior professor and principal having lot of experience in pharmaceutical education. Professor Shastri will now tell us about the distillation, the salient features of distillation, applications of distillation and other important aspects of distillation. Professor Shastri.
Hello, dear students. I hope that you are able to understand the subject of distillation properly, but we will try to once again enlighten you, give some of the important points of distillation. It is not possible for us to teach entire distillation chapter within this short span of time. However, we will try to tell you the important component of distillation. Distillation is a process by which we will be able to separate a liquid from another liquid or a solid from a liquid. Both of these things can be accomplished by the method of distillation. However, there is one important feature, that is the boiling point of the liquids or the boiling point of two liquids which are there in the distillation process should be separated. If they are different, definitely the distillation can be brought about. Secondly, there will be the separation of a solid and a liquid also. In a number of cases, if a solid is not soluble, that is it is not soluble in the solvent, a separation can be done only with the help of filtration. However, a solution like sodium chloride, separation is necessary of sodium chloride, simple example, from water. That cannot be done by simple filtration process. Here, the solid has to be separated from the liquid by a suitable method. So, the distillation process is the answer. Here, the principle of before going into the principle of distillation, whatever may be the type of distillation, whether it is a lab scale or industrial scale, there will be three components. One is the distillation still, second one is the condenser, third one is the receiver. In between that, in some of the types of distillations, there will be other additions, but still this will be the main component. In the still, that means where the distillation takes place, it is known as still. Here we take the liquid or a liquid solid mixer that has to be separated. So, the mixer will be taken in the distillation flask. The principle here is that when you heat, the evaporation will be different for different liquids. A liquid which is having a high boiling point will have less vapor when compared with a liquid which has got a low boiling point. For instance, we take the mixture of say alcohol or for example another chloroform and then water. If you mix both of them, chloroform content in the vapor will be more when compared with the vapor of water. So, when we separate the vapors, naturally the separation can be brought about. That is the principle, particularly separation of the boiling points should be there. That is the only criteria for carrying out the distillation. If the boiling points are different, definitely distillation can be carried out. So, in the heating process, in the normal lab scale, we will use ordinary distillation still and direct Bunsen burner or any other LPG gas burner are being used for supplying the heat. In the large scale, where in the industry, we will be using steam under pressure as the source of heat. So, when the heat is applied, the liquid at the room temperature will be heated up, absorb the heat and then they will get vaporized. So, for the conversion of a liquid into the vapor state, naturally latent heat is required. The latent heat is supplied by the system. So, when the latent is absorbed, the liquid will become the vapor. the mixer will go into the next stage, condenser. So, in the case of the second distillation process, the second component is the condensation. Condensation means converting the vapor in the form of liquid. This can be done with the help of a condenser. There are many types of condensers. The condensers in the lab scale, glass condensers, you might have had Liebig condensers, they are being used. In a large scale, stainless steel condensers will be used for better efficiency. So, in this way it will be converting the vapor in the form of a liquid. Then we will be collecting that in a receiver. The receivers are also many types. A simple receiver will be consisting of any other just normal container, but however for separating one liquid and the other liquid which are not miscible with one another, different types of receivers will be available. So, in this way 3 components in the distillation system are: one is the distillation flask where the heating takes place. The material of construction may be varying, and then material of this one in the lab scale and then large scale, but the principle is same. The liquid is converted in the form of vapor. Second one is the condenser. Condensers are also of many types, large numbers, but the principle is same. Convert that in the form of vapor is converted in the form of a liquid. Now, how to do it? We can't just cool a vapor in the form of a liquid. Here you might have understood that in the first stage the liquid has absorbed the heat and then converted in the form of vapor. So, if the vapor has to be converted back in the form of a liquid, the heat is to be removed. So, the heat of vaporization should be removed. This is done with the help of a condenser. Condensers may be a water circulating condenser or air circulating condenser. Either way, the heat is removed from the vapors with the result that they will be condensed, that is reduced in the volume, or in other words, simple words, converted in the form of a liquid. Third one is receiver. So, in this way different types of distillations may be there, but the principle is same. I hope you are clear. Now, going into the different types of distillations depending upon the separations, mainly there are 4 or 5 types of distillation process. The simplest one is simple distillation process. It is meant for separating a solid and a liquid. Second stage is fractional distillation, where a liquid and a liquid can be separated. Molecular distillation, here also without heating we will be able to separate the liquid, that is known as the molecular distillation. Another process is steam distillation, particularly used for extracting volatile oils from the crude drugs. Crude drug means a drug like say cinnamon or cinchona or cloves. They contain volatile oil. Extracting by normal process will require a temperature of 170 degrees centigrade. However, with the help of the steam distillation, we will be able to distill it even at lower temperatures, say 97 or 98 degrees centigrade. That is known as steam distillation. Besides that, vacuum distillation and other types of distillations are there. Now, I request Dr. Subramaniam to please enlighten us about the simple distillation process.
As Professor Sastry has already explained to you, simple distillation is a process where a liquid is vaporized and then the vapor is condensed and received in a receiving container. Simple apparatus, a glass apparatus used in a laboratory scale. As he has explained to you, the 3 main parts are the distillation flask, then the condenser and then the receiver. The distillation flask, as you know, has a cork. It has got a side tube converting to the jacket of the condenser, and you have a safety valve in the distillation flask. In case there is more water, the water can be expelled through that safety valve, and then this is the condenser is jacketed. It is a water condenser, and the condenser is protected with the help of corks, so that it is in a stable form, and then with the help of an adapter. So, this condenser is connected to the receiving flask, where the condensed vapors are received in this flask. As I told you, if in a mixture, if the liquid of interest is volatile and the other components are non-volatile, simple distillation is the most useful form of distillation. So, simple distillation, this is used for many pharmaceutical purposes. So, for the purification of some solvents, for the separation of simple liquids and solid to liquid. So, these are the advantages of the simple distillation apparatus, which can be very conveniently used in the laboratory. And then there are other types of distillation apparatus, as Professor Sastry has already explained. He will now tell us more about the fractional distillation as other types of distillation.
Another method of separation or distillation is known as fractional distillation. This is mainly for separating one liquid for the other liquid which are soluble. It is all right that if one liquid is not miscible with another, we can easily separate with the help of a separating funnel. But it is not always possible to do so. For example, we are having a mixture of say chloroform and ether. Both of them are miscible with one another. We can't separate. If you distill by normal distillation process, the condensate, which we call it the receiver, will once again contain the same components. So, in this way, the problem is that by a simple distillation process or a one-time distillation process, we will not be able to separate two miscible liquids. Similar is the case with chloroform and alcohol. Alcohol distillation, if you take a mixture of alcohol and water and try to distill it, the distillate which will be collected in the receiver will once again contain both of the components, and hence fractional distillation will come into the picture. In the case of the fractional distillation, it is almost equivalent to multi-distillation process. The principle is very simple. When you boil a mixture of two miscible liquids, the vapor will not contain the same composition. For example, if you take a 50 ml of chloroform and 50 ml of ether in the distillation flask and heat it, naturally the more volatile component will be coming out first, and hence the vapors will be richer in the more volatile component. If you collect these vapors in the receiver, the distillate contains more of the volatile component when compared with the normal first distillate. In other words, with one distillation, we are able to become or we are able to get a richer component with the distillate, while the other one less volatile component is less in composition. In this way, by a simple distillation, slight increased concentration of the more volatile process can be done. But this has to be repeated over a number of times. We cannot fix so many types of distillation units one after the other and get the fractionating column. It is not a practicable one, and hence what they are having is they are using the fractionating distillation one. Fractional distillation is also can be compared with a number of multi-distillation process. Distillation is nothing but two components. One is converting the liquid in the form of vapor. Second part is converting the vapor in the form of a liquid. So, both the components, that is evaporation and then boiling, both of them are there. We will call it as distillation process. In the fractional distillation column, what happens is that we are having a number of distillation processes. For example, see in the diagram. In the fractionating column, normal distillation vessel is there, the flask is there. Here the liquid is boiling. When the liquid is boiling, the vapor component in the liquid will be much when compared with the lower one. So, the mixture will go into this fractionating column. This is known as the fractionating column. You have seen that a number of plates are there on the fractionating column. So, in each plate what is happening is that the mixture of vapors are settling in the first plate. Here what happens when the settling is there, the vapor is converted in the form of a liquid. This leaves heat of vaporization. The heat of vaporization which is present, which has been left in this one, it will be absorbed by the more volatile liquid and the liquid will get evaporated. So, in the first plate also a type of distillation has taken place. First one is condensation and second one is evaporation. Evaporation of which material? Evaporation of the material which is more volatile and condensation of the mixer. So, by the time the vapors go into the second stage, the vapors have become richer in the more volatile component and the concentration of the less volatile liquid has become diluted. In other words, distillation has taken place in the plate 1. Similarly, in the plate 2 also, one more distillation process will take place. What is meant by distillation? As I have telling once again, that is converting the liquid in the form of vapor, first stage, and then converting the vapor in the form of a liquid. Both of the processes are involved, then we will call it as distillation. So, in each step there will be one distillation process. Suppose in this diagram you are able to see 8 to 10 plates. That means 10 distillations are taking place in this small area. During this process, I told you in the beginning itself that when you heat a mixture of two components which are miscible with one another, the vapors contain more of the volatile component. In other words, the vapors will become richer and richer with the more volatile component. So, by the time they reach the top, the concentration, almost a pure volatile component will be there and it will be connected through the condenser and collected in the receiver. The other component, that is the less volatile component, will be left on the different plates. So, in this way, without applying the heat with so many times, we are able to get efficiently a separation. This type of separation is known as fractional distillation. This is used mainly for separating or extracting alcohol from, say, less volatile beers and other alcoholic products are there. You know that in order to concentrate the alcohol, this is the method. Similarly, we will be able to separate any of the two volatile components even if they are miscible. So, in this way, fractional distillation will be carried out to the complete separation of two miscible components. Now, I request Dr. Subramaniam Garu to please explain us about steam distillation process.
Simple distillation, suppose liquids of high boiling point cannot be done by simple distillation because at higher temperatures the components may get decomposed. And similarly, in the form of immiscible liquids, steam distillation is the method of choice. Here, you know, in these two immiscible liquids, they have their own two different vapor pressures and each of them they remain, they do not alter the process. So, the total vapor pressure will be on the boiling will be equal to the atmospheric pressure. Then the vapor pressure, the vapor gets converted and then it condenses. Now, this figure shows you the simple apparatus of steam. This mainly contains a steel can where vapor is produced with the help of a Bunsen burner or heating system, and then it is connected through a cork which a bent tube which goes to the what is called the distillation flask where you have the non-aqueous liquid, and then there is through another hole of the cork you have a safety valve. So, in case if that excess water is there, that can be let off through the safety valve, and then there is a bent tube which is connected to the condenser, and then simultaneously both the steel can containing the steam and the distillation flask containing the mixture are simultaneously heated, and with the result the steam passes through the distillation flask for uniform mixture and making the vapor more possible for coming out, and through the bent tube the vapor that is vaporized in the mixer gets into the condenser and it passes through the condenser, it gets cooled, and then ultimately the condensed vapor is received in the receiver. So, this steam distillation is mainly useful for immiscible liquids in case of two immiscible liquids, and this is used, for example, separation of two immiscible liquids like toluene and water. Similarly, extraction of volatile oils, as Professor Sastry has explained to you, so like clove, eucalyptus oil, such things, they have volatile oils, so those can be extracted by this method of steam distillation. And then this also can be used for the purification of liquids with high boiling point, example say oil of essential oil of almond. Some of these are used in the drug preparations. So, purification of liquid with high boiling point like essential oil of almond. Similarly, volatile oils can be separated at lower temperature without any decomposition and loss of aroma. That is very important in case of some medicinal plants and all that. So, without the loss of aroma, the volatile oils can be separated by this steam distillation process. So, this now we have seen the simple distillation apparatus where two miscible liquids, one of the mixture is a water, can be separated. Then you have seen the fractional distillation. Now we have discussed about the steam distillation where two immiscible liquids can be separated. Now Professor Sastry will now tell us about the advantages or uses of other distillation and how these distillation apparatus are used in the pharma industry, where lot of mixtures, as you said, solid liquid mixture or two immiscible liquids or two miscible liquids are to be separated depending upon the vapor pressure. So, he will now summarize about all the distillation equipment that we have at our disposal and commonly used in the pharma industry.
So, in this way mainly the steam distillation is used in the perfumery industry for extracting the perfumes. Secondly, it is used in pharmaceutical industry to extract the volatile oils and also for the separation of the immiscible liquids. And then another in the perfumery industry, this one will have vacuum also, so that the entire distillation process is carried out under reduced pressure. That brings the next distillation process, where same distillation process, instead of carrying out at high temperatures, it can be carried out at lower temperatures. When you reduce the pressure, the boiling point of the liquid will be coming down. Utilizing the principle from the system, we will be able to remove the air with the help of vacuum pumps. Once the air is not there, the liquid will boil automatically at lower temperatures. Utilizing this one, any liquid which is supposed to boil say at 100 degrees centigrade can be made to boil at 40 degrees and 50 degrees centigrade also by the help of steam distillation. Besides these distillations, in the pharmaceutical industries, there will be vacuum distillation also, which is used, as we have discussed. It is almost the same as that of simple distillation, but one addition component is connecting to a vacuum pump. Then we are always hearing about the petroleum industry. In the petroleum industry, we will be using flash evaporation, flash distillation process. In the case of the flash distillation process, the heating is normal, but more important component is that the feed or the liquid feed is put into high pressure and suddenly the pressure is reduced. When a liquid passes from a high pressure to the low pressure, suddenly it will start boiling. It is also known as flashing, flash evaporation. So, when suddenly the liquid from high pressure will be suddenly released through a valve into a normal pressure one, and hence the liquid will be boiling. But for converting a liquid into the vapor state, it requires latent heat. That is, some heat is required and the system is not having any heat. So, where does it absorb the heat? The liquid is boiling, but it is not able to convert itself into the vapor state for the simple reason that there is no supply of heat. The heat will be absorbed from the surroundings, and hence the liquid which is at the boiling point will now be converted in the form of vapor. But in doing so, the surroundings have become cooler and hence they have become very much cool. So, the second component is that without much heating, the second component has lost the heat and has become cooler also, and the material will be separated. This is used mainly in the petroleum industry, where hydrocarbons of high boiling point are made to boil at lower temperatures and separation will be carried out. This is not carried out in the pharmaceutical industry or perfumery industry for the simple reason that cost of production is very high, because we have to put a high pressure. Besides these flash evaporation and then flash distillation, fractional distillation and simple distillation and steam distillation, there is one more also, molecular distillation. It is also used, it is not much used in pharmaceutical industry, it is also used in the petroleum industry. So, in this way we are having a good idea about the distillation, application of distillation and separation of the two components. With the help of this distillation process, we will be able to separate a liquid which is miscible with another liquid, or a liquid which is not miscible with another liquid, and thirdly a solid and a liquid, and volatile oils from crude drugs, all of them can be extracted. These are the main pharmaceutical applications as far as distillation process is concerned.
Thank you, Professor Shastri, for enlightening our students about the method of distillation and various distillation apparatus used in the pharma industry. I hope the students have understood this lesson on distillation. Thank you.